Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The restless dead have awoken from their slumber, and their constructs move once more. As we have the Tomb Kings facing off against Bretonnia. So we have Legion leading the Tomb King forces, and Guac will be leading his beloved Bretonnia. So for the Tomb King forces, we do have a front line of just kind of a mix of skeleton spearmen and skeleton warriors. Pretty just chaff infantry for the most part. Most of their heavy hitters is going to be in their Tomb Scorpions, their two Tomb Princes that are both on their chariots with a nice 28 bonus versus infantry. We also have a Screaming Skull Catapult in the back. Who's going to be firing downtown into some pilgrims and the like. We have some spearmen in the back, of course, supporting those. Some Ushapti Greatbow, and they will all be led by Arkan the Black on his horse. So he is going to be bringing Spirit Leech, Fate of Buna, actually, rather interesting pick there. Libra Mortis, Staff of Nagash, and the Tomb Blade of Arkan for some nice nifty summons. In the wings here, we do have some Skeleton Horse Archers going to be doing a little bit of skirmish forces, as there isn't really a whole lot other than the Peasant Bowmen to really counter them, as there is also some Skeleton Horsemen on both sides, looking to just get a little bit of mobility on the field. As long as they're able to avoid the heavy hitters from Bretonian Cav, they'll be able to chase off any peasants and the like that do end up routing. But now for Bretonnia. Their front line is going to be battle pilgrims for the meat of their infantry. They do have a couple peasant mobs, but they are mostly kind of in the rear, going to be protecting those peasant bowmen, buying some time. But battle pilgrims will be doing quite well against the Tomb King infantry. We also have, for the peasant bowmen, we have some pox arrows, one unit of fire arrows, and another pox arrows on the wing. For the lord, we do have King Luin Leoncoeur up in the sky, as he does have his Sword of Corone, as well as the Lion Shield, Stand Your Ground, and the Ladies Champion, giving him some nice little bit of regeneration. The Damsel of Life does have Earthblood and Regrowth, and for the Cavalry, we do have some Knights of the Realm on the flanks, some Questing Knights in the rear, and one more Knights of the Realm on this far flank. We're going to wrap things up for the two armies here. Going to be a pretty straightforward approach for Bretonnia, and letting their Cav do the heavy lifting, while King Luin's going to be a big threat for Arkan, as long as Arkan needs to kind of really stay away from him and allow his Tomb Princes and those Tomb Scorpions to really whittle down that Battle Pilgrim line and do some good work against those Questing Knights. But for the most part, it's just going to be the Tomb Kings will be skirmishing their way as the Bretonians do advance bit by bit. And these Bretonian Cav should have an easy task of making sure that these Skeleton Horsemen do kind of push back. King Luin's kind of dipping and dodging right now, as he's kind of baiting a few charges here and there, as Screaming Skull is firing away into those Battle Pilgrims, doing some decent damage so far. More shots going to be just raining in. Now they are going to be switching their attention over to the Peasant Bowmen with pox arrows, as they do have that discouraged effect when they are firing in, so that will have an additional leadership penalty, and already the Peasant Bowmen are wavering right now. King Luin getting some nice picks in the back here. But yeah, having these Peasant Bowmen drop so quickly would be very, very helpful. They are just, those first shots did kind of miss in, but if they are able to land enough shots in, they should be able to rout these Peasant Bowmen with no problem at all. Tomb Kings now will start pushing up. They should have probably pushed up a little bit earlier. Keeping these Ushapti Greatbow out of range of those Peasant Bowmen would have been quite helpful indeed, but now the Tomb Scorpions and the Tomb Princes going to be assisting that frontline engagement, because without them, these Skeleton Warriors will surely fall very, very quickly. Nice, the Realm actually taking quite a bit of damage so far from those Ushapti Greatbow, and in come the Scorpions, and the Tomb Princes going to be doing some very nice work with those charges into that formation. Knights of the Realm going to start pressuring that back line a little bit, and some nice charges in the front with these Questing Knights, and a nice summon by Arkan here on top of these Peasant Bowmen with fire arrows, getting on top of them as they were going to try and snipe out these Screaming Skull Catapults, but that summon will prevent that, and those shots coming in should actually be able to rout them off of just that shot or two. And these Knights of the Realm taking some heavy damage, as well as the Battle Pilgrim, or the Tomb Prince and the Spearmen are able to push them off. And some nice charges by these Skeleton Horsemen getting into the back line. These Peasant Bowmen are getting compromised for the most part, and the Questing Knights are going to try and rotate around to free these Peasant Bowmen, as they really do need those things in the fight for as long as they can. Libra Mortis going down over here, going to be providing a little bit of extra resistance to these Tomb Scorpions, who have gotten completely surrounded by Knights of the Realm, King Luin as well. And yeah, things are looking so good for that Tomb Scorpion. I think that thing is going to have to be just sacrificed for the greater good, as the others Tomb Scorpion leaving its brethren to die, as it did get caught out rather severely there. Balance power is fairly even right now, if even slightly in the Tomb King's favor. And yeah, that Tomb Scorpion went down exceptionally fast. Unfortunately for them, that was quite the catch though by Bretonnia. Very well done there. But now, still plenty of single entities left, and King Luwin's going to be trying to hunt down these Tomb Princes. Now, Tomb Princes normally do have bonus versus large when they're on horse, but on their chariot, they are bonus versus infantry, so King Luwin's going to have a much better time dealing with them. But in comes that Tomb Scorpion, looking to help things out. These Ushabti Greatbow have been caught out by Battle Pilgrims and Knights of the Realm, and I highly doubt they're going to be escaping in that regard. A nice summon from the Ushabti, though, in the back, going to be shutting down this one last unit of Peasant Bowmen with pox arrows. Those peasants going to try and pull them away, but should be able to get free. And again, another nice catch, though, by the Tomb Kings, as they are able to get this Damsel of Life off the field, at least for now. But these Knights of the Realm, actually, Questing Knights do get rampaged by the Tomb Prince's Curse of Dejah. So a nice little catch there, keeping them away from that Damsel. Now, Tomb Kings definitely would have liked to have caught King Luwin in that rampage as well, and it may have actually allowed them to finally deal with that Damsel of Life. So the Damsel actually did get a regrowth off on herself before she did finally rout. So luckily for her, she's now at full health once again, so that a little pressure from earlier on by the Tomb Kings is all for naught, as actually one of the Tomb Princes is going to be going down very, very shortly. It is crumbling. I don't think there's going to be any saving it. It is going to try and do as much damage to these routing Questing Knights and Knights of the Realm as it can, but it is probably a very lost cause at this point. King Luwin doing quite a lot of good work dealing with all of the kind of single entities. He's able to deal with a Tomb Prince and a Tomb Scorpion so far, and did a lot of damage to this other one. But otherwise, for the rest of the infantry, finally these Ushabti able to finish off these Peasant Bowmen before they do dissipate. But the mobility for the Tomb Kings have done quite well, not being able to be shut down in its entirety by the Bretonnians. These Questing Knights are able to deal with these skeleton horsemen, but for the most part, they've been doing quite well with chasing off units that have been able to rout. Now, the Summoned Skeleton Warriors from Arkan is getting very, very low, and I don't think it's really going to be able to do anything else with its last duration. And trying to save these Knights from a little Earthblood going down, catching the Damsel and those Knights, but that Tomb Prince is going to be hot on its tail, and King Luwin looking to be hunting down Arkan himself. Let's take a little outside look and see what else is going on in the battle. The Screaming Skull is still firing away, and still some decent infantry left for the Tomb Kings here, as the Skeleton Spearmen are still sitting at full health. There are still some Questing Knights, and a Spirit Leech will be going down on them, though. Going to be peeling off some units as they do approach, and the Damsel of Life is on death's door right now. Going to be very, very low. Routing should be able to come back. There might be a little bit of healing left, but King Luwin is just beating down the Tomb Prince and Tomb Scorpion. He has done so much damage to all these single entities. The Liber Mortis is down onto this formation here, trying to keep them in the fight for as long as they can. But down goes the Tomb Prince, and that Tomb Scorpion is going to be sure to follow soon, as these Questing Knights are just going to try and pull out and avoid that Tomb Scorpion, as it is on death's door. It should be crumbling away momentarily, but another Spirit Leech from Arkan on top of these Questing Knights, trying to deal with the final mobility that the Bretonnians do have left. And if they are able to break these Questing Knights, is going to allow their mobility, even though it is just skeleton horse archers without any ammo, to really deal with the rest of the infantry and leave King Luwin to stand alone amongst all of the undead. Because both of these Battle Pilgrims are going to be routing right now, and if these two Skeleton Horsemen archers are able to peel them off, which they should be able to, and the final shots from the Screaming Skull Catapult trying to rout off these Questing Knights once and for all, as the Tomb Scorpion finally does crumble into the ground. So, but even though the Questing Knights have survived, they're so low, and the Ushabti Greatbow surprisingly are still alive and firing in their final shots, going to be routing off these Questing Knights. One more volley may even be able to shatter them, but instead those Ushabti are going to be turning their attention towards King Luwin, who is still at full health right now, despite the fact that he is it for Bretonnia. There is nothing else left, as another Spirit Leech is going to be going down on top of King Luwin this time, though there are some sneaky little Questing Knights returning to the fight as that Damsel finally does shatter. So the Support for King Lewin is going to be gone at this point in this battle. Now it's just going to be to see if the Tomb Kings can drag King Lewin down. I mean, he is a very formidable foe, and the Skeleton Spearmen, while they do have bonus versus large, I mean, they're still just skeletons after all. It's not like they're going to be Tomb Guard or anything like that, and the Ushabti Greatbow is very low on ammunition. They do have a bit of mass themselves. They have some okay stats. They're probably going to be the best bet, though, for the Tomb Kings to really deal some damage, unless Arkan has a bunch of Winds of Magic left, in which case he might be able to Spirit Leech down King Lewin a bit, but he does have this Sword of Corone, so minus 24 melee defense and armor, so they should be able to do some decent damage there. But wisely, Tomb King's kind of keeping things off in the wings here, not committing everything to the fight at once, just kind of trickling things in bit by bit. So it's just one Skeleton Spearman, and now he's going to try and get a surround off now with both of these, and just cycle in and out with the Skeleton Horse Archers. But again, they're not really going to be able to do a whole lot, while Arkan is just kind of making sure everything is going to be chased off the field. And I think there actually is some Bretonnians off. There are some Battle Pilgrims left. That is just going to allow King Lewin to just stay in the sky as these Battle Pilgrims do kind of return to the field. It looks like he's going to try and pick off these Ushabti Greatbow. But in come, those Battle Pilgrims. If the Tomb Kings can deal with them, that will pretty much ensure that King Lewin does stay on the ground. But I don't even know if they're visible right now, though now they should be, as they do see that. And these Screaming Skulls, I think, are looking to, or actually they are going to be coming in, but these Skeleton Horse Archers should try and deal with those, and off the charge they should break those Battle Pilgrims, and that will force King Lewin onto the ground. Otherwise he'll be suffering leadership penalties and will eventually break if he doesn't land. But I'm pretty sure that's going to take quite some time, even if the Tomb Kings are quite far away at that point. And away goes the Battle Pilgrims. Skeleton Horse Archers should be able to shatter them if they are, once they do catch up with them. And King Lewin trying to prevent that, but I don't think he's going to have that opportunity. Nice little rear charge here. Battle Pilgrims should be shattering, and away they go. Leadership penalty is now going to be in effect, as King Lewin does have to commit to the fight. And the Skeleton Horse Archers are going to try and avoid him, because they do want him to just get mucked up with infantry, and he is so very healthy, and he does have his regeneration still. So King Lewin isn't even, his heal cap isn't even shown right now, so he has a ton of healing left. He has taken very little damage so far. Like, if we take a little look at what he has for healing left, so he can heal pretty much another like 1500, and I don't think that the Tomb Kings are going to be able to kill him quickly enough where he won't reach that. So I'm pretty sure he's going to reach his healing cap. And one summon is going to go down, though, on top of King Lewin. Going to try and drag him down with some Skeleton Warriors. And this does have 150 models, much more than the normal units of Skeleton units, which do have 120. So it might be enough to kind of whittle him down bit by bit. Charge in by the Skeleton Horse Archers. Again, not going to be doing a whole lot. They're not really melee units here. They're very cheap and not going to have a whole lot of damage output. The Skeleton Spears are going to have to try and drag him through the ground. We're going to speed things up a bit, as this does kind of slowly drag King Lewin down bit by bit. Someone's going to be dissipating here, as Arkan's just going to be cackling off in the wings here, as he doesn't really want to get anywhere near King Lewin, because it's only going to take a few hits from him to really punish him. As you can just see, King Lewin's taking like 0 damage right now. They're just summoning, going in and out. Arkan trying to get some cycles in himself, trying to drag this down, but these Skeleton Spearmen crumbling and going down one after another. Though you can now see that healing cap on King Lewin, as he is taking damage, but it is just so slow, as he's just dragging all of these Tomb Kings down. And King Lewin may very well single-handedly carry this game for Bretonnia, as everything so far has been pretty much done and dusted here, as he is just slowly whittling things down. Leadership getting a little low. He might, but yeah, at this point, yeah, he should be able to deal with these Spearmen as they're getting very low themselves. This one's crumbling down, 26 models, and dropping. The other one is going to be going as well, and these archers slowly crumbling themselves. Now let's go back into regular speed here, as the last of the Tomb King units are getting whittled down. Spirit Leech finally getting the Winds of Magic for something left, as Arkan is going to be engaged in melee, has just a single hit from King Lewin does quite a bit of damage as he does pop the Sword of Corone, hoping to catch out Arkan. Now, Arkan's going to have to wait until that duration expires, because if he does go into this engagement here, he will have a meaty debuff on with minus 24 melee defense and armor, and that could very well be a single hit, and that'll be a one-hit KO at that point. He's got to be very, very careful if he wants to pull this back. His balance of power is in Bretonnia's favor, and as King Lewin is approaching his healing cap, as I did kind of guess was going to be the case, he is going to be charging in just as it expires. I don't look like he got any hits off, but King Lewin's going to be returning the favor as Arkan gets a little too close for comfort, taking a little bit of shots here and there, and only 26 spearmen left. We have 7 and dropping for the horse archers. And man, it is going to be coming down to the wire here in this late game. Arkan's going to be pulling back just before King Lewin does jump on top of him, but the attack order just not quite close enough as he does get pulled back into the rest of the units. But now it is just Arkan versus King Lewin, but look how low King Lewin is. If you look at the stats, King Lewin's at 789. Arkan is sitting at 362. One more hit, and now he's down to just 351. One hit away from death. And King Lewin is getting low as well, but yeah, I don't think Arkan has it in him to come back. It is only a matter of time before he goes down, but in the late game, a summon of Skeleton Warriors from the Tomb Blade might be enough, but down goes Arkan. It is just down to the Skeleton Warriors against King Lewin. King Lewin is at 600, 500 now. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before the Skeleton Warriors do finally dissipate. But is it going to be enough to drag him down? There's a lot of models here, and King Lewin he's at 500. He is at his healing cap now, so all this damage, while very slow on the take, might be enough to drag King Lewin through the ground, but there is nothing else left for the Tomb Kings but a single summon, and King Lewin is wavering, and he does rout in the end. The Tomb Kings win it just as Arkan goes down. So let's take a look at the after-battle report. As you can see, Tomb Kings winning with 0 units remaining. The Tomb Kings had nothing left but their summon on the field at the end. Not often you're going to see a faction winning with a whopping 0 left. King Lewin, 5,300 in damage. He did so much work in this match, but it wasn't quite enough to carry Bretonnia, though he came so very close. He pretty much single-handedly killed off both of the Tomb Scorpions, both of the Tomb Princes, and man, take a look at what else could possibly have done any damage. These Peasant Bowmen got taken out of the picture very early on with that Screaming Skull, which is very nice against peasants with their exceptionally low leadership. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, the Questing Knights maybe did some damage, but otherwise, yeah, King Lewin pretty much hard carried there. Nothing else really paid for itself at all. Not even the Questing Knights, only, I mean, getting 1,000, but otherwise, the rest of the units didn't really do a whole lot. Even the Battle Pilgrims weren't able to really salvage much in that fight. And we look over at the Tomb King Screaming Skull, doing good work, and with that leadership debuffs is also very helpful. And I really did like the mobility game that Legion played. His Skeleton Horsemen did quite well at chasing things off. Skeleton Horse Archers more than paying for themselves, doing very well indeed. And the Tomb Scorpion, unfortunate, only getting 33 for a 1,000 unit. That is very dismal performance there, and the other Tomb Scorpion really not doing a whole lot. But otherwise, it was the Ushabti Screaming Skull, and I mean, even the Tomb Princes, though they did fairly decent work themselves. Arkan himself, with all those summons, I think was really the big thing, because there are 150 per summon, and it is very nice to have those on the field. And even the Skeleton Spearmen able to whittle down King Lewin. It's not often that you're going to see Skeleton Spearmen getting almost 1,500 in value. Definitely the heroes of the undead there. But yeah, that was a fantastic match, coming right down to the wire with a very unprecedented finish. And I do hope you all enjoyed that. And as always, have a good one.